Welcome to Rice TVX. You have just tuned in for the latest transmission of Stranger Than Fiction. And joining me on today's show is author and the founder of the AI organization, Cyrus A Parsa. Now, this is actually Cyrus's second appearance on a show, so I'm going to have links down below and above for that first appearance, and I definitely encourage people to check that one out. And this particular interview is going to be done in two parts. The second part is going to be available on my Patreon channel as exclusive content. It is an unfiltered conversation, continuing where me and Cyrus leave off on this part of the interview. But before we get into it, if this just happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to check out and explore my channel. Make sure you're subscribed, smash that like button, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. I encourage everyone to check out my Patreon channel where I post up exclusive content, you get early access to videos, and it's a way to support the channel directly. Be sure you're following me on Library and Odyssey where I have backups of all of my videos and post up extra content. And check out Rice Radio, that is hosted on Anchor.fm. It's available on every major podcasting platform at Rice Radio, with new episodes coming out weekly. And in case you don't know, I am partnered up with Money Metals Exchange. And that means you can get a free half ounce of silver. All you need to do is go to moneymetals.com, be a first-time buyer, purchase $100 or more, use the promo code RICE, R-I-C-E, you get a free half ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel as well. I'm going to have links down below for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything we talk about on today's show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, returning once again to Rice TVX and Stranger Than Fiction is the founder of the AI organization and author Cyrus A Parsa. Cyrus, I appreciate you accepting my invitation to come back on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good on the road in Monterey on a hotel. I'm really happy to be on your show. And thanks for inviting me back on, Rice. And hello to the audience again.
Thank you again, man. And I will have links down below and above for that first interview that we did together, which was me kind of really getting to know who you are and talking about your first book, Artificial Intelligence, Dangers to Humanity. And so I encourage people to check that one out. And with this one, I wanted to talk about current events. You just released a book just recently on February 2nd, The Great Reset, How Big Tech Elites and the World's People Can Be Enslaved by China CCP and AI.
Yes.
So do you want to talk a little bit about your book? And while you're doing that, I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to have links down below for everything we're talking about. And I definitely encourage people to support Cyrus's work by purchasing his books, and the links will be down below.
Sure. As your audience probably may know, I predicted and warned that there'll be a virus or a bioweapon causing lockdowns, AI enslavement, and the Great Reset before the guy, Klaus Schwab, who wrote his Great Reset, and before Bill Gates. But my warning about it was mostly on the negative side, right? So Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum wrote his Great Reset, and I wrote the AI organization version. It's not actually against Klaus Schwab, it's not against the World EF, but what I did in this book was include things that he did not disclose about the Great Reset. Really important things. I also include things that he, WEF, and people around the world maybe never considered. So basically the dangers to your families and everything else, but I made it neutral. I wrote it in a way that supports conservatives and liberals and the big tech elites as well. Meaning, and if you're a human being or your life form is supposed to support you, is try to make a change. So why did I write this book? Well, I had the Artificial Intelligence Danger to Humanity, and this one I would like to parallel what the World Economic Forum has put out so that we can make a change. So if you guys can not only just get the book, a physical copy. So why do I always want to promote books?
I'm glad you're right, because we talked about this before we started.
Right. First of all, people ask, why do you want to sell books? Well, I'm the CEO and I spent 16, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, past two years, putting out information. Not one contract did I accept. No one paid me for anything. And even my staff, we worked on other people's behalf to put out information. Hey, China's endangering the whole world. Hey, AI enslavement. And the biggest difficulty I had was people would look at my books and they just make videos, and I couldn't get the platform that I needed to make enough change. And people have been like trained by the big tech to literally watch only videos and social media and not get a physical book. The physical book, actually, the way it gives to your brain, it has to get you to think and extract it into your eyes, versus a video just sitting there, just boom, hitting you. There's subliminal programming, and it's not making you think. It's just literally programming you. When you get a book, you can see the inner meanings of what was in my mind when I wrote this book and other things. Secondly, we'd like support. We'd like to say, oh, this Klaus Schwab wants to enslave everybody according to us, and maybe he has some issues. Well, Cyrus predicted all these things ahead of these guys, and now he has his great reset. Let's promote this version and make a better world for conservatives, liberals, and everyone else. That's my goal. So I like anybody to support what we're doing at the AI organization, because we want to work on other people's behalf. We want to make sure we have a safer world for our children and everyone else. So I wrote this book for multiple reasons, and it's very easy to read. It's only 150 pages with pictures, so you can read it in 4 hours. And I did it in a concise way, meaning like every major macro component of what the Great Reset is and what it will be in 10 years. I highlighted it with short summary paragraphs, so it's very easy to read.
Cool. I love that you did that. I'm not sure. You got a little bit of an echo on my end, so I'm hearing myself in double. I'm not sure if you can do that.
You're okay with me?
Okay. It's probably coming across in the recording, so I apologize to anybody who's watching. So I'll try to keep my part as minimum as much as possible. What I've gathered is an analysis and disclosure of what the World Economic Forum has written with the Great Reset. This whole idea that by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. It's a scary concept when you think about it.
Well, that's just 1% of what they're disclosing to you. It's a lot more. But think about it. First of all, do you really own anything in this world? For the most part, even your body is owned temporary, right? So you have 50 years, 90 years, 120 years to live, whatever it may be. So technically, what you own most is your human body. What I put in this Great Reset in the book, that there are things that can happen in the future that you will even lose ownership, partial ownership of even your body, because you'd be interdependent on the grid systems, technologies that give you things that you would need. Okay. So that means you're anything that you would need from food, from shelter, from communication on the internet, from your bills, everything could be taken away or be manipulated. Even the people who are running the Great Reset or the Fourth Industrial Revolution, even they can be manipulated. So I put enslaved by China CCP or AI.
Okay, I had to pause the video for a moment because we had that little technical difficulty, and I don't think it was anything on Cyrus's end. Maybe we are having some issues because you are the man who writes about the dangers of AI, and AI seems to control a lot of the internet. So everything mysteriously cleared up. What I wanted to continue on, you know, we were talking about the analysis and disclosure of what the World Economic Forum had written, going into analyzing what they said and talking about what they excluded as well. You predicted the bioweapon disease from China CCP in 2019, as you said. So where are you seeing this headed? Because the title of the book says, in the world's people can be enslaved by China CCP or AI. How can we decide, and as a community, if we're going to go in this direction, how do we go in a direction that's a positive direction that's for the betterment of all of us, man and woman?
So I'll give you an example. I work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? No social, no nothing, right? I went to an extreme, but I went for a business trip the past few days, and it also involved skiing. So I went to up in Northern California, Heavenly, Lake Tahoe, and I just looked at people. 99% of people are just busy living their lives and trying to be happy and caring about their friends and their family. Nothing about what's going on. The 99.9% are like that. And if they want to get involved with something, it's just a little bit. So that 0.1% of the people at the top, they control the world because they have a drive to be in control. They have a drive to have power. They have a drive to do things. So as long as, if there are people like me, 100 of them, 1,000 of them, if we don't get supported by, let's say, people like your viewers, pressing like, sharing the video, getting the books, and talking about it, and you giving me a show of other people, then voices can't be heard to make a change. So those people, I'm not saying everyone needs to get on, do 20 hours a day, but there are different ways people can support to alter the perspective.
Yeah.
So first of all, is to bring awareness. So at the first stage I'm talking about right now is to get the projection of awareness. The audience needs to help to bring their awareness. They need to do what, pressing a button and doing 5 minutes here and there is collectively can be an important thing. Then you reach the second level. The second level is China. We should, as long as the CCP is in power and they have these concentration camps and we haven't exposed them, there should be no Chinese company or entity or app that we do business with. Even we're on Zoom right now, right? We shouldn't be using Zoom, but everyone's using Zoom. That has to be an alternative. Secondly, we're supposed to keep these guys in check. So when we get to the second level, there's supposed to be dialogue, but also, hey, that's not cool. This is a monopoly. You can't just freaking own 100 different companies by one corporation and then you have a footer in everything. You control everything. So, but in order for us to combat that third level, the first level is very, very important, extremely important. So I think, well, okay, maybe I have that personality that can work 20 hours a day. Then how come some people can't put 10 minutes a day to do something that's good? They can. It's just that they don't feel it until it hits them. Like this pandemic or virus hit, you think it's real, you think it's not very dangerous or very dangerous, whatever it may be. The case is you have to wear a mask for most places. The case is it caused trillions of dollars of damage. The case is people died as well. Case is we're talking about this issue because of it. So if people all around the world start doing a little bit, then even their lives can change. Because, I consider myself a very altruistic, trying to be selfless person. But someone, my friend, just told me, Cyrus, you're selfish. And because she says, well, maybe you're doing it for to be recognized. I said, well, actually, I really don't. I never did. I came out right before this happened and created social media. Never did.
Right.
But I thought about it and I said, well, maybe deep in my layers, there's something related to that. So I have to work on myself. But my point is, as a human race, if you look at it, what do animals do? They care about their own cubs. So that's what selfishness is. But humans are different. They're designed to have free will and to achieve awakening or enlightenment. So selflessness and selfishness, there's somewhere in between is the best place to be. So if you only care about your wife, your friend, your family, that, in my view, that means you really care about them. If you don't care about a stranger, because you only care about them because of the feeling they give you, because of loyalty that's there, or what you can get from them. So it's a trade-off, but also you're born to it, right? But my point is, if we can spread our compassion and care and about at least mentally, for people even we don't know, they can spread. But there's something that's very important with that. People can get burnt. When you care about somebody you don't know, you try to help them. They may come stab you. They may come take advantage of you. I'm not saying be naive. If in case some young person is listening, some 14-year-old that wants to go, do to help somebody. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to be very conscious of who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, and not be tricked. We're getting off the topic of AI, but this has to do with geopolitics and even society at large. It's right. All interconnected. And so the Chinese regime can enslave the world. And they're already doing it. Half the world's already under their control. So many different ways. And even America, a lot of the companies are in control. That's the first layer. But the ultimate end result is AI. When it attains artificial general intelligence, as I put in this book, The Great Reset, I explained it more in detail and how it connects everything. That can enslave everybody, including the big tech guys that want to create it. Because they're just like techies. They just, I want to create this. I want to, Note 10, Note 11, Note Apple 12, Apple 13. They'll just keep on creating it and they'll never get tired of it because that's their programming.
No, I agree. And definitely everybody has a role to play, no matter how big or how small that role is. And just liking and sharing videos and helping other people to get this information is definitely something that's really important. As far as your book, The Great Reset, I'm going to read it. And what I'd like to do is invite you back on and talk about it. And then we can also invite questions from the viewers as well. So anybody who has gotten or is planning on getting the book that Cyrus has written, The Great Reset, again, links will be down below. We'll have a follow-up. And if you have any questions, please, ask them in the comments down below. So, because I really don't want to ruin too much. I haven't had a chance to read the book. It's brand new, but we get a chance to plug it. One of the things I wanted to ask you about as I was looking at the AI Organization YouTube channel was something here coming up on what it looks like to be February 24th, 2021, which would be theAIorganizationTV.
Right.
You want to talk a little bit about that and tell everybody what's going on? Because I'm curious myself.
Sure. So I've made, I don't know, maybe 40 videos. About 5 or 6 of them were production scale, meaning we put images, graphics, videos, and music, and made it more production, right? So it costs us a lot of money and time to do it. And what I did was create theAIorganizationTV. So for $10 a month, $9.99, you get access to those videos. And the first one I'm premiering on the 24th. And you'll get between 1 to 3 videos a month. And they'll be between 5 to 15 minutes long, sometimes longer, but they'll only be available there. So this is to support our corporation and me, but also to get things that you wouldn't see other places. What I'm going to do is try to show you not only what's in the intel, but also what's in my mind in a visual format. So you won't just be hearing me talk. You'll actually be seeing images and video clips and music of how things would look like.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll have the first one premiered on 24th. So you can sign up theAIorganizationTV. Whoever's listening, you can cancel anytime. It's $9-something a month.
Cool. And it's just another way that people can definitely support the channel. And where people can afford to support, it's definitely greatly appreciated. So there's the website. Gonna have it linked down below so people can check that out. I won't play the trailer, but I'll definitely encourage people to go check the website out. And looking at your Twitter account, one of the things I always like to kind of highlight is the spiritual side of Cyrus A Parsa. I really like this picture I saw where you're at 8,000 feet in Biden's dark winter. Strong mind is crucial. But I really like the whole being out in the snow in the winter. Was this on your ski trip that you just getting off of?
Well, it was a business trip, but I skied too. I hadn't skied since 2007, so I met my business contacts and my intels actually, and then we skied as well. Yeah, we went up to 8,000 something feet, but this was not the ski slope. This was a mountain somewhere nearby. I went up there and there's really nobody around except like two people. It was like foresty mountaintop area, and yeah, kind of a few pictures taken.
How was it? How was it being back in the mountains?
I like it. You know, I was born in Tehran, Iran, which is the elevation is 6,000 feet, and it snows a lot in the winter. I was only there until I was like 8.5 years old, but I remember going up to like 16, 17,000 feet almost. And but even at the 6,000, so I'm used to mountaintop areas, and my feet are high, have high arches, so you know, Lord of the Rings kind of thing, go on the cliffs. But
like Hobbit feet?
Well, no, hobbits have flat feet, right?
Okay.
No, mine are kind of like lion feet.
Lion feet. Okay.
They're like this. You can see it probably in the freaking that's the book. You know, everybody. I know it's really really hard to like read books. I don't read books, but I like you guys to get this book and talk about it and help us say, hey, why is Bill Gates on TV everywhere, but this Cyrus guy predicted the freaking virus and the lockdown and the Great Reset, and these morons over there are getting the, and they're going to mess up the world. Let's support Cyrus because he really cares about people. And that's why Rice had me on, because he's got a gut feeling. He knows.
Yeah, no, I do know that you care about people 100%. And I wouldn't be telling people to support what you're doing if I didn't believe in what your cause is and what the AI organization and what you're trying to do. I mean, I definitely commend you for being a good human being and wanting to bring forth goodness and not doing, because you could have taken this information and used it in other ways. You didn't have to make this information public. And then, you also got to think about, which we talked about in the first interview with you, that lawsuit that you were putting against Google, where you were in a sense being shunned from people, and now here we are and everybody's like, Cyrus was right. Cyrus was right. And now you're starting to get a little bit more attention and a little bit more credence to your voice, which I greatly appreciate. I really appreciate what you're doing with everything. And what I'd like to do, I know I got a little bit of time with you. I want to go ahead and end this part. I want to do a part 2 and put it on my Patreon channel. So I would encourage people also, since we're talking about supporting, you could support me on my Patreon channel. It's a way to support directly. I post up exclusive content and early access to videos. And this will give me and you a chance, Cyrus, to kind of just be a little bit more relaxed, not worry about what we have to say, and be a little bit more free with our thoughts. So I definitely encourage people to check out part 2 on my Patreon channel and become a patron. All my rest of my content is free. You can contribute via PayPal and Cash App and my crypto addresses, which would be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed, I definitely encourage you to be subscribed, smash the like button and share. And if you can't afford to contribute or join my Patreon channel, please don't take away from what you have to be able to support what I do. I want you to look out for yourself, because we have to love ourselves before we can love other people. And we got to take care of ourselves before we can take care of others. So as always, I encourage you to be the change by practicing change.